Okay, so speaking of things sliding in, I think 2 episodes ago we discussed how Chinese solar panels got hit with like the biggest tariff out of like when you look at all the tariffs that China was hit with, and you break them down, solar panels were hit the hardest. And you said that part of the reason is because they were skirting the earlier tariffs by like building them in Malaysia, the solar panels, and then labeling them as like built in Malaysia rather than built in China, something to that effect. So I came across this story here from Reuters, and it's called Rogue Communication Devices Found in Chinese Solar Power Inverters. So the crux of the story is that they interviewed some experts who had to speak under a condition of anonymity, and they basically took apart the solar panels that were coming in from China, like the big industrial ones. They took them apart, and then they noticed there was a component that was not on the manifest. So it's not on the engineering drawing of the solar panel, but it was located in the inverter. And this component would allow someone to remotely, I guess with China, whoever put it in, it would be China, to remotely turn, like, what is it, to turn off the grid or something akin to the, what is it, used to connect solar panels, something akin to like turning off the electrical grid that the solar panel was feeding into. What's that about?
That is the concern. So if you remember, like way back when IBM sold its ThinkPad to China's Lenovo, and then the Pentagon bought a bunch, they put in an order for $17 million worth of these computers. And then in 2016, they were like, oh no, we can't use this because MI5 identified backdoors and vulnerabilities in these Lenovo computers that were, a threat, a national security threat, especially because they're being used in the Pentagon. And so then down the road, they did a deep dive into that. So in 2015, after it had been banned and everything, they were discovered that a software called Visual Discovery came pre-installed in all of these Lenovo computers, previously think tank from IBM. And then the software is made by an Israeli company called Superfish, and it would route all of the web traffic through servers controlled by Superfish. So whoever installed it knows about it. So they're like, Lenovo totally knows about this and said it was okay to put this in there and have this backdoor to then basically see everything the Pentagon's doing. And so then the FTC brought charges against it, and then eventually Lenovo settled a class action lawsuit. So you have a history of China doing this. You had that as well with smart TVs. Everyone was buying them because basically the whole point is like, you saw that with Huawei too, the massive telecommunications towers. If something goes wrong, is China going to send a bunch of workers on a plane all the way over to the US, like the middle of nowhere, to fix it? No, that's going to cost a lot. So what they do is they put backdoors in everything. We do it too. The US does it with our devices. It's just a little less malicious is the argument. And so what you're seeing with the solar panels is because now everything is connected, right? You wake up, you turn on your little smart TV, your smartphone, you go to work, everything, driving your smart car, everything is connected. So the concern is, well, where's all that information going? What if someone can hack into it and stop it? So you're finding more and more reports like this one of the solar panels where suddenly people are discovering these components that are like, wait a minute, what is this component doing? Why does it have to be here? And then it's like, it's raising those concerns that because everything is so connected, and especially under the last administration, there was that push for green or renewable or clean energy. You wanted more and more solar panels. So if the grid is reliant on something like that, also these inverters are also used in like EV chargers for the EV cars. What if you have that kill switch and you turn it off? So that's why under the last administration, the Commerce Department, Gina Raimondo was calling smart cars smartphones on wheels. Because you had all these like BYD Chinese-made EVs on the roads, and they're like, what if someone in Beijing flipped a kill switch and you have hundreds of thousands of cars in America during rush hour, they just stop. What happens? So that's the concern.
I used a lot of words, but kill switch is an excellent term. It's going in the headline for this episode. And by the way, I found the exact thing that this solar panel button would do. Using the Rogue communication devices to skirt firewalls, they could switch off the inverters remotely or change their settings, which could destabilize the power grid, damage energy infrastructure, and trigger widespread blackouts. Isn't that something? Can you imagine? You have this whole green push towards solar panels, and it's like, okay, the government's like, fine, we'll build these solar panels, they build these fields, they buy their solar panels from China because I guess they win the contract, they're the lowest priced ones. And these solar panels have a kill switch in them where the Chinese could turn off the solar panels on a whim.
It's kind of like when you like turn the light off on your friend and stuff. You know?
I guess it's easier than blocking the sun, which would have the same effect.
It's like the plot to a movie that you'd write, and the person reviewing your script would go, "Come on, like that's a little unbelievable." I feel like I say that a lot, but it's more and more becoming true. All right, I know exactly what you're thinking. That was a great clip you just watched. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to follow, and also check out either these videos or maybe they're on this side. I don't know which side they're on, but we set it up so these are the videos that YouTube is suggesting to you as the best ones that you'll probably like the most. So check them out. This side,